All right, who was that first spiritual experience?
Hey, Robert, back.
I have one.
Okay, go ahead, sister.
It was a nice day not too long ago, and I did what you said. I had seen this robin sitting on this tree limb, and so I did what you said, and asked the robin to sing, and the robin sung, and did a couple little things that I had asked, and I appreciate that.
All right. How are you here?
Well, back. I'm here.
Okay, can you open up with the prayer?
Tua. Lekuk. Sadok bi Amun-Rayay. Unabab Momadu. Umadea. Umumzer who Lee Penan Zaman who Wakat. Panabab ya no. Kalal Hamadad at there me Amun-Rayay. Nathar Shalil Pa Patet Upa Taha. Anuke Nawapu. I trust by way of Amun-Rayay and his master teachers and his taparai for writings and his warner for this day and time, Panabab Yanun. All praises are for Amun-Rayay, overseer of the heavens and the earth. I am Nuwapian.
Love you. Thank you for that. And that's papyri. That means writings, because they used to write on papyrus. All right. Anybody else have a spiritual experience they'd like to share?
Yeah, right back, everybody. I got a question.
Hey, well, who back there? Come on, Talegu. Miss Sharon. Terry, how are you?
I'm all right. Can't complain.
All right. Anybody else have a spiritual experience?
I have one to share.
Very good.
And so, my grandson was at a soccer game last Saturday, and I was too tired to get up that early to go see him. And I said, I'm going to have an OBE and go see my grandson play soccer. And I had a crazy dream at first, but as I was waking up, lo and behold, I was looking down over the soccer field, and I saw some people playing soccer, and I woke up. That really, really amazed me.
Well, you'll be doing a lot more of that.
Go ahead.
You will be doing a lot more of that. I'm doing a lot of that myself.
Yeah.
Shifting realities.
Yeah. It's nice.
I'm afraid I'll find one that I'm so comfortable with that I won't come back here to finish the job.
No,
all right.
Do that. Not right now.
Well, I know you're right.
Sorry.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay, good. Somebody had another spiritual experience?
I had a question.
Because Ptah has something to share with us. All right. Your question is?
That's a Bible question. In the beginning of the Bible, it said, God said, let us make man in our image and after our likeness. I want to know who was the us who said that.
Well, that's the Elohim translated in Hebrew. And Elohim means those beings plural. So the Elohim, in this case, were the Anunnaki. Rahubat. All right.
Okay.
Now, somebody else.
Oh, I wasn't finished that question, though.
Go ahead. Finish your question.
So, no, I was saying, after you said, let us make man in our image and likeness, they made the people, the ones who made them, with it just like human beings also? They were human beings?
Yes, were in a human form, the Anunnaki. So we actually look like them. They don't look like us. We were created in their image and likeness. It's a project that we had, a 600-year project. Well, actually, they were sent here in order to or to mine a rare substance called new by them and gold by you. And the main project was in South Africa called Adam's Calendar on the computer. And it was headed by one of the Anunnaki scientists named Enki, who was the son of Anu, who is the son of Anu. And the workers got despondent about carrying the workload, threw down their tools and rebelled, while the elders demanded the workload be kept up. So they searched the planet over, and Enki found a species on Earth that they could use as a genetic hanger to put their DNA and on their genetics into, to make a being in their image and likeness to complete the work. And he was speaking about the Australopithecus, the great apes, the lairs, the chimpanzees, etc. And so they opted to do that, and they took 100 years to gather species, and they created laboratories called Shemti in Egypt and on the dark side of the moon and on Mars. And they conducted the genetic experiments in there by taking the egg of the ape woman, putting it in petri dishes, and they added the semen from a very intelligent canal builder named Gastu to the formula. And after the culture started to multiply, there was an Anunnaki woman named Ninti. Some called her Mamie. That's where you get the word mama from. They placed the culture inside of her womb, and they grew. And when she gave birth to the first, it was not perfect. It didn't work at all. Some were born blind, etc. But after many experiments, the last one performed by Enki, they succeeded in creating a being that was in their image and likeness. It was perfected to the point where that if you stood the Anunnaki female nude next to the human female, you could not tell the difference until one of the others spoke. And when you placed the Anunnaki male next to the human male, you still couldn't tell the difference, except for one slight variation. The human male had excess skin hanging on his penis. And that's why they came up with the law of circumcision. But I want to tell you, and they called that being the Lulu Amilu, or the primitive worker, to substitute the Anunnaki that were doing the job. But they did various surgeries on these beings to disconnect them, their strands, so that they wouldn't be fully conscious like the Anunnaki. Because they wanted them to read and write and obey, but not to wonder and ask questions, or have the ability to rebel like the Anunnaki did. But I want to let you know that to be created in the image and likeness of the Most High is not simply genetic manipulation or superficial surface modification. Because when you look around the world today, that statement doesn't hold true, because you have males and females, black and white, young and old, etc. Different races. So they can't be created in the image and likeness of the Most High in a physical sense. But you have to go back to when the Most High called together a grand assembly of angels and said, I'm about to create a man of sounding clear black mud, fashioned into shape. When I have made complete his form and blown into his nostrils of my breath, or the essence or substance of the Creator himself, into the temple of man, then you will all fall down and prostrate to that man, or pray to that man. And all the angels in heaven did that, except Iblis. Until this day, he's the naughty disputer, the devil and government implant that's working to destroy the mission and curtail it in every way that he can, him and his associates. But understand that the children of God Terry, that's you and me and everybody in this class that acknowledges that fact and will adhere to my guidance so that it can raise up in consciousness and reconnect with the reality of the fact that they are God. Like the sister just said when she came in class, she wanted to come in, she wanted to go see her grandson on the soccer field, and so she went to sleep and did that. That's not a moral act. Neither is healing people in great distances or moving stars. And I keep telling people that are bloviating themselves, don't call yourself God until you remember how to do the things that gods do. You feel me? It's just empty ego. You're being a devil. And you're not going to remember those things without there's no way to the Father except through the Son. All right?
All right. All right. Thank you.
Okay.
That's good.
Okay.
Well back, Messiah. This is Kim.
All right, Kim. How are you?
I'm doing good. I got in the shelter, but I had two new people with me.
Very good. And their questions are, would you all step forward and name yourselves, please?
Yeah, my name Travis.
Everybody, could you welcome the brother to class?
Welcome home,
Welcome home, Travis.
Welcome to our class. Much love and light.
Welcome home, brother.
All right, and the other one is?
How you doing? My name Dale.
Welcome home, Dylan.
Dale.
Okay, everybody welcome the brother home, please.
Welcome home. Welcome home, brother.
Welcome home, Dylan.
Much love and light.
Glad to have you.
All right.
Welcome home.
And what kind of questions do you all have?
We was just trying to figure out what we could do on a daily to streamline our path to get towards the more enlightened path. What we could do on a daily within ourselves to.
You just taken a gigantic step by coming here with these people and with us.
Yes, sir.
We are the 124,000, the real ones that are gathering right now.
Mm-hmm.
And we're here to answer all of your questions.
Yes, sir. You the one gonna help us guide. You're gonna be our spiritual guide along the way.
I'm one of them. I am the last elder. Yes.
Yes, sir. So, as a form of greeting, what would we greet you by?
Rahubat.
Rahubat.
Yes.
Rahubat. Yes, sir.
It used to be Shalom Aleichem until Panababianun, or the one you all called the Angel Michael, changed it up one night right after we had a meeting, he and I. A one-on-one meeting. One of our many meetings. All right. Ptah, could you give us what you wanted to communicate to us?
Yes.
Thank you.
Just read something short.
Thank you, Kim.
You're welcome, Messiah. This other brother had a question too, Messiah.
Okay, I'm sorry, Ptah, what is your question?
Well, my question is, how do you know when you, what do you do, how do you know you're chosen, and once you realize you're chosen, what do you do to elevate yourself and,
Let me ask a question to answer it. How do birds find south without a map?
Can you repeat that?
How do birds find south without a map?
They just know instinct. Right, okay.
That's what guided you here to us.
Right. Mm-hmm. Yep.
And at 10:30, at the end of the class, you'll be moving stars, performing miracles, doing things that gods do if you have the patience to stay in class tonight.
Mm-hmm.
That's a fact. So not only will you know that you've been chosen, but that if you have the perseverance to stay, you will have a seat in paradise. But remember that you have to be steadfast, because many are called, but few are chosen. That's right. You have to really earn your seat. Yes. All right, Ptah?
Yeah. All right.
Just speak up.
All right. This is something short. I'm going to read. Parallel universes. According to the many worlds interpretation of quantum mechanics, every time you make a decision, the decision you didn't make plays out in another universe. Some may think that parallel universes are beyond our universe.
Wait, your connection broke off. Okay. Every time you make a decision, it manifests in another parallel universe, and we lost you.
Okay, the decision you didn't make plays out in another universe. Some may think that parallel universes are beyond our universe, and to reach them, we might need not yet developed technology. How reality is structured, we actually shift through parallel realities all the time.
Wait a minute, you're drifting off again.
What's the last thing you heard?
Just back up and repeat. Repeat what you just said.
Okay, some may think that parallel universes are beyond our universe, and to reach them, we might need not yet developed technology. However, how our reality is structured, we actually shift through them all the time.
We go to the soccer field, right?
Yeah. I'm going to give a definition. The Planck's constant, or Planck's denoted by H, is a fundamental physical constant of fundamental importance in quantum mechanics. A photon's energy is equal to its frequency multiplied by the Planck constant, and the wavelength of a matter wave equals the Planck constant divided by the associated particle momentum. In short, it is at the Planck level of reality that we shift through billions of realities per second. Each reality is like a film strip with no movement. Time would be the equivalent of shifting through all those realities a second. That was it.
Okay, and I know you've been with me long enough to know that I've taught that in different words, but that concept many times, haven't I?
Yes.
Okay, let me add something to that. A question. What if the world as we know it was significantly different from the way we've been taught to see it? What if human consciousness could affect the behavior of the subatomic particles? If the laws of physics were different, how might our lives be changed? Throughout time, human beings have been mystified by the power of thought. All that we are is the result of all we have thought. That was by Buddha. Countless legends, myths, and social explanations surround the topic of thought. But few people understand the facts about how our thoughts impact our lives. I'll explain that to you all. For many, one second. Thoughts are powerful. That sister thought of her grandson. All right. For many years, unusual observations and experiences have been labeled bizarre, paranormal, and sometimes were even considered unexplainable coincidences. But as recent studies demonstrate, there appears to be consistent connection between the mind and what you call physical matter. The greatest discovery of my generation is that human beings can alter their lives by altering their attitude of mind. With the modern emphasis of science and the need for quantifiable evidence, many scientists have begun using a relatively new field of study known as quantum physics or quantum mechanics to examine the laws that apply and the chronicle microscopic scale. This science has described many previously unexplained phenomenon while accounting for the often overlooked energy patterns that human thoughts create. Human physics is the science of possibility. This new science asserts that classic physics do not always apply to the happenings observed, like moving stars, at the quantum level. Some studies have shown that the actual position of matter, changes continuously until a person gazes at it. Many of you can bear witness to looking up at night skies after many sessions with me. And what happens to the stars without your conscious thought? What do they start doing?
Moving on their own.
Moving
right.
around like you say.
All right. Okay. Let's do this again. Some studies have shown that the actual position of matter, like Horace sinks in his house, changes continuously until a person gazes at it, where temporarily it takes a fixed position to the human eye that actually exists simultaneously in other locations, like keys that you can't find. This is called the law of superposition, and it suggests that there is no such thing as an objective or universal reality. In other words, our observation of reality changes reality. The experiment also implies that there are many uncertainties between the relationship of energy, time, and space. Now, the sister that spoke about going to the soccer field that her grandson was playing at, she changed and shifted to a parallel universe because she changed. In other words, we're three-dimensional beings right now, and time is the fourth dimension. She altered the time and place. The imminent double split diffraction experiment demonstrates that matter can either behave as a particle or as waves, and I sent that to you all on DVDs, many of you all, in earlier packages, but not both at the same time. The ramifications of this study have perplexed and in some cases upset classical physicists. This does not necessarily mean that all previously existing mathematical laws were erroneous, but rather that the classical perspective is merely incomplete. I know that I am intelligent because I know that I know nothing. Follow me? I know that I am intelligent because I know that I know nothing. The devil is the contrary to that. They think they know a lot of things, but they know everything about nothing because things are not a reality or a fiction. The hidden message in water, some researchers such as Dr. Masaru Emoto, and I'll send many of you DVDs on that, have observed that energy, especially energy, can impact the physical properties of matter, such as water. Early experiments showed that the water purity directly impacted. From building on this discovery, further tests involved introducing the water to strenuous variables, such as music, prayer, concentrated thought, and the written word to avoid inconsistency. In other words, he experimented with water by taking a glass of water, and he would pray to the Most High or put on beautiful music, and then after putting on beautiful music and loving the water, he would put the container in the freezer and slow down the vibrations until it shifted into a form of solid ice. It formed crystal patterns, and they were beautiful, beautiful shapes, wonderful shapes. But then he would take the same glass of water after it had thawed and put on heavy metal or some forms of rap music and have very negative words like speeches from Adolf Hitler or lying black and white devils or Jim Jones or black agents for the government, and let them talk, and then put it back in the freezer. It would shift to a hardened substance called ice, and the crystals would be jagged and very ugly and very, very frightening looking. Ugly, jagged, rigid, and evil, manifest into solid forms. And that's what you do when you encounter these beings. No matter how melodic their voice seems to be or how they try to calm you down like a cat trying to get a bird by easily rocking his tail side to side to hypnotize it. Just remember, in the end, there'll be feathers everywhere. To avoid inconsistency, you want to use the most natural form of water possible, distilled water. These are scientific facts. Just be aware of that. All right? Okay. Now, how do you remember looking at DVDs and getting information about Emoto?
I do.
Yes.
All right. Okay, they had another experiment that involved the use of random event generators, also known as REGs. These are small and simple computers that produce random sequences of ones and zeros. After being told to focus on either producing more ones or zeros, I know a lot of people wonder, well, why don't you just eradicate these devils? No. The devil's not as evolved as they think they are. I leave these demons in place because the devil is a perfect learning tool. They're perfect examples of exactly what not to be. And I leave them among you so that you can look at them and study them. And the more that you bring them into view and can visualize them and see them, the more ugly and stinky they get. And you'll extricate them individually from your personal reality. One at a time, you get rid of them out of your personal reality until they're talking to themselves. The participants in the study were clearly able to influence the outcome. And manipulate the mathematical probabilities of generating the results they intended to achieve in the follow-up study. Participants were told to once again bring about more ones or zeros and REGs located on the opposite side of the planet. It is also equally consistent. Now, I know that these REGs were also used to signal the inevitable 9/11 attack, right? Okay. Quantum physics, throughout the entire system, quantum physics has revealed what the tech masters do. Matter does exist. The concept of substance are well to the philosophy, and though that concept came Science is the conception of men. The fact of the matter is that the substance of the universe is consciousness. Belief that the substance of the universe is matter leads to what I call a fear-grade economy, as people in their quiet desperation attempt to accumulate as many actual possessions and riches as possible. In fact, the substance of the universe is consciousness. Therefore, it is behavior that is important. And the devil is the lowest of the low. Their behavior is often motivated by greed, licentiousness, and a thirst to control. If you get into the realms of fear, fear is a very slow, dense, vibrational state. And the more you embody fear, and the host of this manipulating sitting is global, it's structured to make us fear, to make us have stress, to make us worry about tomorrow and have guilt about yesterday and forget about now. It brings us into a slow, vibrating, dense state. We should be very careful about that. We believe what we believe about the future. The more you attach to a belief system, the more reality is holographically formed. You're helping create it by believing in it. Every reality is built out of thought, and that every thought starts to build reality, and every thought is like a spider, like spiders spinning web, and that web starts to build and build. Information is the key, because this matrix, this illusory reality that we think is real, people say to me, what is the matrix? Answer, it's information. Information creates fractal. Information flow increases. The number fractal, mathematically speaking, this was demonstrated by a mathematician named Theodore Gordon. Fractals are unpredictable functions. So things are becoming more and more unpredictable. When you start getting into fractals and chaos theory, when you look at it in terms of a sighting, this is where it starts to cross over into so-called Illuminati, or the negative. The world leaders with their philosophy of order out of chaos. All right. Now, I'm not going too far into that, because it is ignorance at the very lowest degree. But what I will ask is if we have stimulated any questions so far.
I got a question.
Yes.
These two brothers right here with me right now, they want to know about the two physical deaths that you experience in life.
About the what now?
The two physical deaths that you experience in life.
The two physical deaths. DEATHS? Deaths?
Death. Like death?
Dying.
When a person dies?
Yes.
Okay. You mean like the second death?
Well, actually, both of them. The first one, a baby death when you spank the baby, and the second physical death when you die as you in your body.
Okay, all of you being created in the image and likeness of the Creator are immortal, eternal beings. But you are enocytes in this three-dimensional holographic light show because you have forgotten who and what you really are, which is why I was sent to you in order to get you to reconnect with the reality of who and what you are, by turning your attention from the illusory outside to the reality of the inside, where the kingdom of heaven and God really reside, in a temple, which is the place on the side of your head and not a building or a structure down the street. As angelic beings, you were originally simple electromagnetisms are spiritual creatures that have fallen down in wavelength and frequency and vibration and spiraled into what you call physical beings. When you were born, you were conceived by your mother and father in a bodily form, because that spirit, the eternal spirit of you, was placed inside of the mother and father 3 months before they came together in a physically conjugal sense. And then when they did have sex or come together, when the semen and the ovum met, then that spirit attached itself to that zygote or that cell and gave it personality. Now, in the second trimester, which is considered widely by science to be the first, you are reptilian. Look at that early stage. You see that you had a tail like an alligator, a curved tail, and claws of an ugly being. In the third trimester, what they call this, you were Romardian or gray. And the final fourth trimester, you were Homo sapien. And when that physical baby was born, my water broke. It had an umbilical cord attaching it to the uterus of the mother. The cord was cut, and you were still a spiritual being, because you weren't using your lungs to breathe. You were underwater inside the amniotic fluid. You were using gill pouches to breathe. And you weren't using the outside sun because you weren't directly affected by it. You were using your internal sun and your solar plexus and that of the mothers to maintain your body heat. So in order to bring you into this world in totality, the doctor turns you upside down, held you by the feet and ankles, and spanks you. That pain caused you to cry. In order to cry, you had to inhale the oxygen, a very flammable gas in this atmosphere, and the second, or prana, which is the life that's emanated by the sun. It was taken in through your nostrils or your pyro. Your nose is the shape of a pyramid on your face, and brought into your arterial circulatory system in your blood. And your heart pumped it around your body to deposit life force and life-giving oxygen into every cell of your body. Until on this arterial journey, it was pumped around to that very light that lights the heart of every man or woman that comes into the world, the light of God that shines in the darkness, and the darkness comprehendeth it not. Meaning there's a fire that's burning inside of you. That's the greater light. The sun is the lesser light. You know there's a fire burning inside of you because when you inhale oxygen and exhale carbon, that's definitely a scientific effect that there's a fire burning. Or you maintain a constant body temperature of 98.6 regardless of outside temperature. If you live in Chicago, in the wintertime, it's very cold. But you're still 98.6 because of that fire inside of you. It's how you burn calories or get hot when you're upset, when you raise the Kundalini, or you have a fever. When that second or prana and that oxygen reaches that fire in your solar plexus, not solar system, in your solar plexus, that fire hits that oxygen and ignites a spark that starts to tumbling, like when you hit the ignition, root of that word is ignite, that generates a spark to start the tumbling of your pistons in your car engine or your motor. So when that light hits that internal fire, that oxygen and prana ignites a spark that creates a tumbling that binds that spirit to the mud to create the living soul. And at that instant, when you cry, you begin your zero time reference on earth, so that's day one of being born on the physical plane. And then you have truly fallen from heaven to earth at that point. And that, my friends, is the first death. Because when you separated from your mother in the womb as a spiritual being, you're still an angelic being. So when you're spanked and you're caused to cry, and that second and oxygen hits that light, when you cry and stop using your gill pouches, what happens is you die from the one world and you're born into this world. That was the first death. You follow? And as you live your life up here on the physical plane, if you walk up and down the street and you follow devils in many forms, they'll be distracted from the thing within and start trying to get you to direct your attention outwardly and to them and all their foolish, evil illusions and trickery and their subtle deceits and their cunning and all these vast and variegated spider webs that they create. Just like at the back of the dollar bill, you see that web or the website and the computer. This is the way the devils get you stuck. Well, then what happens is that if you're unfortunate and you only believe in material reality, as time passes, you get older until you meet that inevitable time when you go to the mortuary, you suffer the second death, and your spirit is still alive. But to those of you that are asleep in this, so shall you be in the next. I'm here to wake you up so that you don't suffer the second death. Because if you suffer the second death, you will surely experience hell. You would definitely be an inmate of hell. And that's quantifiable facts. Understand? And it begins with that death. Because as you lay there in the coffin and you're spiritually conscious, you're trapped in the mud of your physical flesh, screaming, "Don't bury me, I'm alive," and nobody can hear you. And all the people that you showed off for and all the devils that you followed, like rats following the flute, family members and all the people you thought loved you, once they have to use the bathroom or get cold, hungry, all you hear or will hear, devil, is footsteps walking away from you. That seem to be so much to you right now. Your phasons and all they'll phase right out. All of your deviltry and all the books you read and the knowledge you accumulated, all your computer mechanics, it'll fade right out. And all those people and things that you thought you loved and they loved you, even family members, on the way home, driving in the car, the truth of the matter is, in your case, demon, because you were so selfish, the only thing that they're going to be arguing about is who's going to get what of what you left behind. And that's just the beginning of sorrows. A lot of people say, well, I don't believe that we can be, once we're dead and buried, that we can be resurrected by God and then judged. The Most High asks a question of you. See you not the stars, the sun and the moon? How they raise up every morning? And what do they do every night? They go down.
They die.
And then they raise back up, don't they?
Yes. Cool.
Just spell the sun S-O-N instead of S-U-N, and you'll get it. Stars are Anunnaki. The devils and the jinns say, nah, bah. To raise us up and we're just bones and ragged flesh, that would sure be a bakas, a return and loss. Question I'm asking you is that where were you 80 years ago? Where were you 100 years ago? Because the Quran says, surely there came over man a time when he was nothing worth mentioning, nothing that could be considered. As they say in the world, you wouldn't even agree with your daddy's eye. You didn't exist except in the quantum state. But now you do exist. So it was he, the Messiah, that brought you forth from what you describe as nothing into something. He brought you forth. He brought together the sperm and the ovum. That was you. And brought you forth through the thraib, the spine, over the feces through gushing water. My water broke. And you, man, have grown up to be an open contender to him, an open disputant. Have you lost your goddamn mind? What happened to that member of that personal state when you were nothing to be considered? You done got him on top of this earth and walking like Chest Out Charlie, and you got plans and you working against the Creator and against the truth? Are you stupid, nigga? You and your peckerwoods, are y'all crazy? You think that's going to end well? When you in that grave by yourself and everybody's gone home, even your dog left the grave, and there's nobody there except that Creator, he better have a smile on his face, partner. He better have a smile on his face, because all your trickery and tail wagging is not going to... You done got so slick, you sliding off the planet. You too cool to poot, nigga. You the cat's pajamas. You a magician. You done got people that trade sugar for shit. They selling their souls for a world that don't exist. Are you and your followers that lost your goddamn mind. But before I get too emotional, I want to ask the brothers, if I didn't answer your question about the two deaths, to please turn your questions so I can throw more light in blind corners for you tonight.
Hey, answer the question. The two deaths?
I'm saying yes.
I'm sorry?
Yes.
And the other brother, did I answer it for you?
Yes, sir, I understood.
All right.
I had another question, though.
You got a question, Messiah? You go, brother.
Okay.
When the devils attack you, and they try to stop all your important relationships, they do everything to try to kill your character. They try to, when they do stuff to try to,
assassinate the real you, yeah.
Yeah, stop you from going.
Keep you from connecting with the Most High. Yeah.
Exactly. What do we do? What steps can we take to?
You have to create a psychic self-defense, because your mind can only think of one thing at a time. Don't ever forget that, because that's a powerful tool. And your weapon is truth. Always stay around truthful, pure-hearted, honest people. Not like-minded devils, because you'll help to create that whip of deceit for one another. Together, you'll agree on a lot of bullshit and strict confidence. Get these spiritual packages that I offer you all through the mail, and keep absorbing the contents, especially at night when you're physically asleep and your spirit is awake. And you wake up the next day having answered the questions that you didn't think you knew the answers to. But attend these classes. Don't miss one ever. And keep, when you get the posts, sending them out to the rest of the world so that they can enjoy and afford the possibility of being saved just like you. So you become a member of the 144,000 by becoming firmly rooted and helping to raise the 144,000. You follow me? Understand that this devil that you speak of, it's just a thought. And he transfers his message through televisions and media. That's why you use the media to destroy the lives. satellites and technology, 5D, rather 5G rather than 5D. He don't want you to go to the fifth dimension. He wants you to focus on 5G. His computers and signal towers and satellites and his evil and sick, disgusting mind. The dark angel. You follow me? And his white masters. Now, you have to know that during the day, you can say, well, I don't look at TV or listen to things, but you're working on a job or in your social environment and you're surrounded by people that do. And like secondhand smoke, it can affect you negatively. Or at night, when you're trying to sleep peacefully, you may have neighbors that live on your left and on your right that are in a relationship and they're very angry with one another and they're on the cell phones talking about killing each other. And those cell phone waves, when they go through your walls to reach them on the other side, they're not passing and going around you. They're going right through you just like your walls. And all that negative information is disturbing your peace and giving you negative dreams and thoughts. And you wake up angry and evil just like them. Or when you look at television and they have satellites that surround the world and they're broadcasting Freddy Krueger and Frankenstein and Adolf Hitler and Jim Jones and all these black phase-on 6 demons and this and that and other. They're coming through and they're bombarding you with all this negative programming and putting all this doubt in you. What, maybe, and yeah, but. The language of the devil. You understand? You wake up and you're all upset and you get ready to go outside your house and face the world and you put on your mean mug. You know that's what y'all do. You get this stern face on so that when you meet people, you communicate to them that you're not the one. You hard just like them. You a devil too. And that's not really what your spirit is saying. You really want to say, how are you? Have a pleasant day. And they got to the place now, when you have cash register, and when they get through to you, you say, I really appreciate you. You have a wonderful day. And that's you real crazy. While they look at it confused and say, you too. Because they're confused, because that's not what they're used to. Or neighbors, when you say to them, seriously, how have you been? Are you all right? You follow? Because you're living in a devil-created evil web. And being negative has become the norm, unfortunately. And people are trying to fight evil with more evil. Fire, fire. You follow? It's all combustible. It's coming out in world wars and plagues and diseases, and even the weather is being affected negatively by it. You find out that it's raining way too much, regardless of where you live. Too many hurricanes and tornadoes and floods and volcanoes and earthquakes. It's going to be so hot this summer until white people go into caves that they build called apartments and underground halls. They're going to stop. Actual white people won't be able to drive back and forth to work. So they're going to start quietly shifting jobs to the homes or caves. You follow me? They're going to do it real smooth. The devil is very cunning and subtle. Even the black ones, they've learned to be shifty like that. All of you that are old enough to remember the clocks and watches used to tick, tock, tick, tock. So you knew what time it was because it was in correlation with your pulse, heartbeat. You went to a doctor, the nurse would put her hands on your wrist and look for a watch and count your pulse to see if you were in tune with the universe. But the devil knew his time was out. What he did is somehow or another, he just got in all your grandfather's houses and got the clocks off the wall and go tick-tock and all the watches off your wrist. I want you to beware of the devil's power. Don't underestimate the devil as a snake. He done got all the top pieces quiet, and you don't even know how he did it or when he did it. Don't think he can steal your soul out this class. Little at a time, like an ant eating an elephant, he's chewing on your soul, creating doubt here, anger there, and questions here. But he's got nothing to offer you in place of it. He is the devil. And if I were him, as much as you all are waking up, I would be afraid that pretty soon he would get that knock at the door. The righteous would really come to him and tear him a new asshole in the physics that he believes in. It's coming like Frankenstein's castle, because people are getting sick and damn tired of being sick and tired of all this negativity and evil, all this backstabbing and lies. They're tired. The devil's time is up.
Yes, we are. We are tired.
I know you are tired.
Yes.
We heard you cry. We know you're tired. You're tired of the death and pain. You're tired of all that misery.
Yes.
And you're starting to realize that the devil is the source of it.
Yes.
It's where it's coming from. It's where his misery is coming from and yours too. Listen to me, family. Heaven and paradise extends over the whole of the heavens and the earth. Heaven is everywhere. Paradise is a garden, and that's what the Creator created for us. We're in a beautiful garden. What makes it ugly is there's snakes in the garden. Do you understand me?
Yes.
Cool. But what is your defense against an invisible enemy? Do you think the snake is Jesus or Moses or a smart man or beautiful grandmother? What do you do then when you think the snake is something cute? If you got a snake for a pet, it's all right with me, but don't you ever pet it thinking it's a bunny, because it'll wake you up and remind you the true nature of itself. It's toxic. It's the whisper that whispers evil into the chest of men and women from among the men and women. They look just like you. Every time a righteous child is born, a devil's child is born. They walk to and fro the earth seeking whom they may devour. Their primary adversary is the life giver, the creator. These stupid things think they're at war with the truth. They think they're at war with their creator. And they want you to join their army of miscreants and lost souls and touch down into it with them till the last footstep. When you cut off and there's nothing but pain to remind you of the consequences of your personal evil. And ignorance of the Lord is not going to be an excuse. Your minds are fragile, and you have to guard them. The devil is a mental mechanic, and he knows how to reach and tap into your weaknesses, because the devil is the weakest and the lowest amongst us. He knows how frail his mind and his psyche is. But he's just like the wizard on the Wizard in Oz. When you hear all that, yes, oh, yeah, and all that behind the curtain, when you pull it back, he's just a tiny little man on a stool with a big microphone behind his machine, talking, his feet don't even reach the floor. He's a scared little fellow behind the curtain, making a lot of noise and talking a lot of trickery stuff. The devil ain't shit on a stick. Don't even step on him when you're walking, because he'll be stuck in your shoe and remind you every time you inhale that his essence is still on your foot. Stay away from them. Go to the brothers I sent you to, that every time you contact them, all they're trying to do is teach you and direct you on the computer to teach you how to get the message out to people. Just look how many of you all, every time you talk to them, they're guiding you into how to propagate into Facebook, Instagram, Telegram. They're doing their righteous job fighting against Satan, the evil one, is distracting you with all kind of other bullshit. Except that. What else is there to talk about? If they're not talking about that, what are they talking about? Be careful. All right. I hope we generated some questions.
Amun, I got one.
I'll do my best.
This is Ptah Hotel, Amun. My question
I know you, son. Bless you.
Thank you. What was Tiamat before it was called Tiamat? What was this entity was? And how big was this planet?
Okay, I want to guard it. I'll answer the question. But it sounds similar to the sister asking me how much does the earth weigh? You know, it's like a distraction to me in a way, because when I answered the question and told her it weighs 6 sectillion tons, I asked her, I said, now what you going to do with that? Now you know. Now she was the kind of person, not you, but she was the kind of person that was just thinking of questions to ask me that I didn't know the answer of, to create doubt. You understand? In people's minds. Okay, so now what was Tiamat? It was called Ki. Q-I. Ki.
Okay. Now, it wasn't a hunting ground then, or was it a resort?
Yes, it was a hunting ground and a resort.
Okay.
There were extraterrestrials that came here for vast and variegated reasons. Some came to hunt dinosaurs. Like men pay to go to safaris and hunt in Africa right now.
Mm-hmm.
It was also people that came here to genetically spice into the beings that here, such as Anunnaki or the Pleiadians. Also, there were beings that came here to live different environments for themselves. So they're the ones that created arid deserts, swamps, and other different geographical places and environments on the earth that were conducive to their species' lifestyle. They brought in trees and insects and animals where they lived. If they were water beings, they brought in jellyfish that they could feed off. They brought in grasshoppers and praying mantis. These are not creatures from Earth. You follow me? And unfortunately, they brought in reptilians and many beings that appear to be human because, for example, in Africa, there's a tribe called the Dogon tribe in Mali. They were actually Egyptians that migrated to the land of Mali. And there, the beings that came down from Sirius landed in the rivers. They called them Babilayat, or the ugly river beings. These beings, or reptilians, would come up out of the waters in the evenings when the sun went down and teach under the cool of the date trees. The reason they preferred the date trees is because they loved those particular fruit. They were sweet and pleasing to them. And that's where you get the word date from. And they would teach these people agriculture and engineering and different astronomy and different sciences and medicine. In exchange, they demanded virgins, young virgins, to be brought to them and staked on a stake, spread eagle by the water, so the male of the reptilian species would come up and overshadow them. And many of these young girls gave birth to hybrids, reptilians. Now, you might think this is just mythology I'm speaking, but I speak facts. Look up the Dogon tribes of Mali, M-A-L-I, Dogon tribes of Mali, the ostrich people. Ostrich people, right now. And you see pictures of these big bug-eyed creatures with two big giant toes, like an ostrich. Those are the children of reptilians. Somebody look it up and tell the class what they see. Dogon, D-O-G-O-N, Dogon tribes of Mali. The ostrich people.
You only have two toes.
That's right, two big giant toes and big black eyes.
Mm-hmm.
So while they look human in a way, you can see that they're not. You follow me? I just want to make sure you all know that what I teach you is facts. The devil is teaching smoke and mirrors, snake oil. Illusions that lead to illusions that's born out of illusion, right? A puff of smoke is what the devil is, and the evil magic show. Look this way, look this way! That's what the devil is. A distractor, a misleader, a deceiver, a conjurer, a deception. You got to tell him, not me. The Decepticon, the father of lies, the author of confusion. But he's become a performer. He's so smooth with it. Like peanut butter, warm peanut butter on bread. He can spread it so smooth. Cunning, just like he's nice. But the question is, will you be connected with Instagram and X and LinkedIn and all these places that you need to post up these posts to propagate and spread this truth? That's the real question. If not, you just took the mask off the face of the dark ages. All right, you want to tell somebody something?
Somebody use your phone. You want to come up? I got pictures and words will come up.
But don't worry about it. Just tell them what you see.
Okay.
Just tell them what you saw. Oh. That's all right. Well, she saw the Dogon people.
What I see are people sitting around the ground, and as the Messiah said, they got just two big toes.
And bug eyes.
And big bug eyes.
What she's doing is she's pulling up these things when I ask. And then she brings it over here and shows it to me. You understand? And I keep telling them, why are you showing it to me? Tell them what you see. You understand? Now, we know that this is not delirium. These are facts. Because in the Dogon tribe, you had white scientists go over there, and they would offer them money and things that they wanted in exchange for knowledge. And every 60 years, they have a ritual called the Sagui, where their Sirius B lights up the sky, and they all get the Hogan, the priest of the Dogon tribe, leads them out into the woods, and they uncover the brush and find there this gleaming silver crafts that came down. That's how these reptilians came to Earth. There's 16 species of reptile. And then they talked them into taking them to these sacred caves that they have. When you walk inside, you can see all these artistic paintings on the top that they did in red ochre of star systems and different than the other. And in the Sirius star system, they have Sirius A, B, and C depicted on the ceiling. Problem is, you couldn't see these stars with your unaided eye. It wasn't until the middle 1900s that they developed telescopes powerful enough to see them with the aided eye optically. So they wondered how hundreds and thousands of years ago these simple tribesmen in Africa had depicted the exact location of these stars that had collapsed because the Nibiru drew too much energy from when they collapsed, and that's what angered them and made them follow the Nibiru, and in pursuit of the Nibiru, it passed by Earth and they dropped off in Africa and other places like the Yucatan and came up and bred with the people because they wanted to claim Earth as their own and create a new world order. They wanted to take it over because they felt that the Anunnaki were responsible for the loss of their world, right? Now, the problem is the world that they're trying to take is not the Anunnaki's world. You follow me? So they're trying to do the same thing they think the Anunnaki are guilty of, trying to take somebody else's world. The snake has always got a good reason for being a snake. But notice, the reason they can be so deceptive, when you walk in tall grass and a rattler jumps out and strikes you on your ankle, don't think that he or she is doing that because they're the devil. They're not crawling around thinking, I'm the devil, I'm the devil. They think they're a person like you. They're not thinking they're the devil, but they got the devil's nature. And when they talk about people with that underhanded talk and make negative suggestions, when they communicate with you, it's like shooting poison. It's a toxic poison that they're poisoning your mind and your soul against the truth, little at a time. Watch these slimers. Their arms are at your destruction. And they want to sever your connection with the Creator and the life giver, so that you too, like them, will have to suffer the second death and thereby hell. Next question. I don't want to get too dismal or gloomy, but the truth is when I speak. Go ahead. And I want to give the sister Jasmine a special shout out because I love her and bless her particularly tonight because she wrote me a post about, she was one of the people who called me up and said she was having difficulty and emotional trepidation about posting the post up in the media because the devil has created a fear circus and somehow programmed you to think something bad is going to happen, but she overcame that, and she told me now that she's posting up, already started in Facebook and Instagram, and I'm sure she'll include all the others before it's over. So bless your soul, Jasmine. I want to tip my celestial hat to you because you've done exactly what we're here to do. That is overcome the devil's plan. All right, go ahead.
Oh, thank you, Amun.
I love you. Thank you.
I had a question about what you what you was reading about the quantum physics stuff.
Yeah.
I'll let the sister go first.
No, go ahead. The place was called T before Tiamat. All right, son, I'm waiting.
Oh, yeah, okay. I thought the sister wanted to ask a question. My question is to get everyone else asking questions. Did everyone know what he was talking about when he said a superposition? Did everyone understand that?
Explain it to him, Har.
Sure.
That's a reverse of 6 trillion tons. Go ahead.
Yeah, so a superposition, according to what these quantum physicists are saying, is basically there's the atom, and we know the atom is made of empty space. And this trace energy that they're talking about, if everyone can get in their head, you can Google an atom. And they'll give you a picture of what an atom allegedly looks like. Probably not how it really looks, but it's a picture to show you there's a nucleus, protons and neutrons in the nucleus in the middle. And then there's a trace energy moving around.
Let me tell you how they decided how it looks. Even though they can't see them, they know as above, so below is a cosmic law, Har. So when they look up at the sun and the planets, which they can see, they model the atom after it as a tiny replica of the solar system. You follow me? And as you, Adam, with a solar plexus, with a central sun, and your 7 planes revolving around it in your circulatory system. You follow? That's why they named the sun S-U-N and you S-O-N. The atom beneath you, they spelled it A-T-O-M and you A-D-A-M to confuse you. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Thank you. So that electron that's moving around the nucleus, everyone got that?
Yes.
Yeah.
That electron, what you viewing it at in that picture, is when Amun was speaking about, when he was saying that it's a particle and a wave. It's not a particle until you look at it, but before that, it sits in a state of what they call a superposition, meaning all possible things can occur or states can occur.
What he's saying is that it's unlimited potential. It's potential.
Any possible ways, that's the superposition. So before that electron takes a position as a state as a particle, which does make things appear to be physical in our world, because we made of atoms, it's in a state of a superposition, meaning, like Amun just said, all infinite possibilities exist at the same time. Tell them to draw a picture of that. But
that's right.
That's the wave function.
Then they can draw a picture of God.
That's the.
I got a question. Amun-Rayay. It's a woman for the star. That's right. It's in your center.
I got a question.
I'll do my best.
This is Obi.
Okay. I love you.
I love you more.
I don't know.
Just like Adam and Eve was in the garden, right?
Yes.
They said that the serpent crawled up in the tree and was talking to Eve and guided her towards this forbidden food. Is that the way he would do in reality, in real time, that he would tell you that you tell you something that makes it sound like that it is true at that moment, but they're
very deceptive, yeah. But they use symbology. The snake wasn't an actual crawling snake. They used the snake because it was the lowest creature they could think of that crawled on the ground on his belly. It was a Halabian flugelrod, because you got 2 types of Caucasians here. You have the Canaanite and the 11 tribes that they're associated with, such as Amorite, Gargasite, Horite. But then you also have the Halabian flugelrods that were here on Earth 2,000 years before, 8,600 years ago. And they're like the ones in Norway and Sweden that look like Archie on the comic books, Norwegians. And those flugelrods were there in the garden originally as the serpent, the Kahanas, the whisperer, that were making these evil suggestions to them to make them go against the Most High. If the Creator said, if you do this, you'll be in heaven. If you do that, you die and go to hell. And the serpent said, you will not surely die, for the Lord doth know that in the day you partake thereof, that your eyes will become open, and you too will become as gods, knowing both good and evil. You follow?
Yes.
Now, with the Most High didn't lie to you, but he told you don't smoke cigarettes, not because you would drop dead on one puff, but that the accumulative effect of smoking would eventually kill you. And the white man himself has had to admit to that, because when you buy cigarettes today, on the side of the pack, the Surgeon General has written that he has determined that cigarette smoking is hazardous to your health and may cause cancer or even death. So that you could, by being hooked, premeditate the harm that it'll do before you take the cigarette out and light it and start puffing and dragging. Michael and his angels fought against the dragon and his angels. You follow? And keep, every time you smoke one, that's another coffin nail that you pounded into your own coffin. But that's how the devil works, to deceive you and try to find lies in the Most High. They try to trick you to have doubt. He creates doubt in your mind. The devil created languages like if a frog had wings it could fly, if, but, maybe, and what if. That's the devil's language. Well, if that's how such and such, the devil is the one that creates doubt. Do you follow? To plant a seed, to just make you start thinking, You understand?
Yes.
And the more you believe in the devil, the more your connection with the Most High fades. Because as I said, those of you that believe in God don't require any explanation. But those of you that don't, no explanation will suffice. No explanation will do. That's that formula. Now it's time for everybody to go outside and perform miracles and do the things that God's do. Now the two brothers with Kim, are you still there?
Yeah, we still here.
Yeah, we here.
Okay, step outside. Are you outside?
Yeah. Yeah.
Can y'all see the moon? Or stars?
Yes, sir.
Do you see the moon?
I don't see the moon.
You see stars? Look over your head and tell me if you can see a bright star over your head.
Not right now.
What kind of star do you see?
It's too much light around right now. I see one star. I see two stars sitting parallel, probably like. Well, see, I see three. I see one by the sun right there. I see one on the bottom. Can I see you right here?
Let me ask you, can you go where? Can you get out that bright light?
Yeah, we're gonna get out of it now.
Yeah, step into the dark where you can see the light. Now, what do we got in London? What do you see? Any other new people here?
One moment, Jack.
All right. Anybody can see anything while she's going outside in London?
I see a star.
I can see the moon.
Okay, where are you at? This Jasmine?
Yes.
Okay. That star right now, we're going to move it to the left in the name of the Messiah. Now we're going to move it up.
Still moving up. Yeah.
Let me know what you see, Jasmine. All right. Now we're going to move it down, dropping it down.
Yeah. Right over.
Now we're going to move it in a circle. I'm going to move it in a circle, counterclockwise.
Yeah, it's moving.
Yeah, I love you. That's you and I doing that, Jasmine. All right, now the brothers in Florida with Kim, I love you. Thank you. What do you all see?
Yes, sir.
Can you see a star?
Yeah, we see
you see the moon?
Two stars. Yeah, we see the moon.
Wait a minute. Do you see the moon? You say you see the moon?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I have moon.
You see the moon. All right. I'm going to raise the moon up for y'all.
All right. It's moving. Yeah. It's moving.
Yeah, it is. Now I'm going to drop it down for y'all.
Yeah. Yeah, coming down. Go.
Now I'm going to make it go in a circle, counterclockwise for y'all.
All kind of clockwise. Okay. That's all I need. Stop. He did the fucking moon. Here you go. Let me see him alone.
Moving.
Yes, it is.
Like I put my finger at the other side of it.
All right. The brothers with Kim, did those brothers see what I just did for them?
Yes, sir. 10-4.
All right. Well, then you know where you at, and you know who you with. You with the 144,000. You follow me?
Messiah, they want to move the star too.
All right. Focus on the one they want me to move. All right. It's going to move to the left right now.
Yeah. Moving left.
Yeah.
Now it's going to move up. Move up.
Yeah, watch. Start. That's fucking crazy.
Raising up. Yes, raising up.
And now it's going to drop down.
You just drop it down.
Yeah. Dropping down.
Dropping down.
Now I'm going to make it come closer to you all.
All right.
Coming closer. Going closer.
Now I'm going to make it move back out. Move back out.
Yes, moving back out.
That's right.
Moving back out.
Going out.
Now, many of you are, okay, in London, what do you... Go ahead. What do you see in London?
I've got a star, bright star.
A bright star, okay. I'm going to make it go in a circle clockwise for you.
Okay. Moving, yeah, going up, moving clockwise. Moving clockwise.
That's just for you.
Going clockwise.
All right.
Yep.
You with the real 144,000, and I am the real Messiah. All the rest of them busters are nothing but devils trying to distract you and press you with their knowledge that they learned out of books and off the internet. You follow me? And from other people with feet. The thing is, if they could, they want to be me. If they could take my place, where would they lead you all? If I gave them the class right now and told them to answer all your questions, they would be stuck like a fly in butter. If one of y'all got sick and needed healing, they wouldn't know what to do. If I asked them to perform miracles for y'all, they would be looking at you with a dumb look and a pointy hat with a thumb in their butt. So listen to that mess for what? They're always looking, when you close the door, they try to open the window. They're always looking for a back way in to try to create doubt in you or to get you to believe that they might be some kind of divine heavenly creature sent by the Most High. But they're not in any of the scriptures. They're not in the Ptah, the actual facts. They're not even in the Bible. They're not in the Quran. They're not in the memory of man. What they don't realize, these poor miserable creatures, is if they just be still and quiet and walk with me and help me in my mission to raise them, that they would eventually reach a level of consciousness where that they would become in truth much more than they pretend to be now. Like Jesus said, one day man will do greater things than I, but they don't have patience. They want to be gods while they're still men. You follow me? But look, Anubis, can you hear me? Anubis, Hotep, can you hear me? You can? I'm going to move the whole creation, all the stars and everything in the sky for y'all. To the left, all creation move.
Going left fast.
Yeah, I left you. Now all creation move back to the right.
Mm-hmm.
Now all creation raise up in the name of Amun-Rayay, the Messiah. Now all creation drop down.
Drop him down.
I love you. And I want y'all to know that I love you more than you could ever love me, because I know who and what you are and what you're capable of much more than you all do. And all of your capabilities and possibilities are extremely, extremely unlimited. Because as I said repeatedly, these gods that you're in search of is you. When you climb upon your intellect and take the mask off the face of God, then you realize for perpetuity, wonder of wonders, the God is yourself. Many of you all have created the sun inside of your black mind with me, and you will do much, much greater things. Just walk with me. I don't want followers. I want you to walk with me, but don't try to get ahead of me. I love you all. You need to post these posts up. Everybody that's well-meaning and intended to try to work for this mission, and stop all that butterraw if and what if and all that afraid of the devil, Sambo slavery thinking, and put these posts, or like you so important, you don't need to do that. You've already covered your use. You have already earned your seat. Post these posts up in every media outlet to everybody in the world, large groups. Send in your donations. Be a part. Earn your personal seat. Stop thinking that you're privileged and you outside the rest. I love you all. We are one. Netia authority, Amun-Rayay, Asa, servant of 144,000. Peace.